Good morning, Wally. Yeah, I was a bit late getting the stream, everything set up this morning. That's why I gave it an extra minute. Hey, Tyre, good morning to you. Oh, man, oh, man. This has been a busy 3 days. Very busy 3 days. Well, 2 days, Friday and Saturday, because this is Monday. I packed so much stuff into these 2 days that I felt it was three. Wiley E. Coyote in the house. Yes, he are. Hey, Digi, morning. Glad to see you. Oh, this is, I got some paperwork in from the government. And one of the things it said was, how far can you walk before you have to take a break? And then, how long of a break do you need? So I'm sitting there going, how far, how far of a walk is it? Because I really don't know. Well, this weekend, the wife and I went to Sam's Club. And I purposely made certain that I had on the little thing on both my phone and my watch to measure my steps. And I had my phone in my right front pocket or my left front pocket so that it would measure the steps, be as accurate as I could possibly get it. A trip around Sam's Club from start to finish is about 1,100 steps. That's from the time you get out of the car to the time you get back in the car. About 1,100 steps. Now, that's not going up and down every aisle. That's going in and hitting the 2 or 3 aisles. On the right hand side, you have to go through, then cutting across the back, across the meat counter area, stopping in and getting some eggs and some butter, then going back around to, where they got the veggies and such inside the walk-in cooler there, then down past the breads and cakes and such, which I successfully walked past. Did not stop and get any breads, cakes, or donuts. Got some low-carb tortillas. Hey, morning, ramen. And then down the backside, pick up some bacon and couple of things around the backside, then down to pick up some vitamins and coffee and that kind of crap. And then out the pay, and the wife uses that where she pays on her cell phone, pays on the app, and out the door. That's 1,150 steps. We got home. First thing I did is went back and grabbed pain pill. I sat down on the couch and I did not move for 5 hours. I just sat here on the couch going, will the pain please go away? Oh man, that was something else. I did not realize that was only from the parking lot into Sam's, around the outside of Sam's, and back out the door again was only 1,100 steps. I would have figured it for a lot more than that. Yeah, 1,100 steps doesn't sound like it's that much. It really doesn't. But when you think that's only around one trip in Sam's Club, and then I think back, to, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, even longer than that in some cases, where a 15-mile hike with the scouts was nothing, or a 25-kilometer Volksmarch was nothing, or a 5 or 10K Volksmarch was nothing. What is the largest animal you can eat in a fist fight? I don't know if I can eat any animal while I'm in a fist fight because I'm not a big fan of eating raw meat. And then when you're when you're trying to bite into that animal while it's still alive and you're trying to fist fight it, that's just going. I mean, even a cat would whoop your ass. Oh, beat, not eat. Oh. Do they have claws or not? I've seen some pretty mean alley cats that you wouldn't want to get into a fist fight with. Then there's always the skunks, the cougars, mountain lions. That all that does matter. In that case, give me a little declawed cub and I might think about it. Yeah, mountain lions are absolutely terrifying. Did you see uh, the reporter? She was out. She was out doing the reporter thing, and she was out in a semi-wooded area, whatever, doing whatever she was reporting on. This damn mountain lion comes walking up, sniffs at her, and walks right past her. Then, and she's going, "Oh, look at this large dog or something that just walked by me. Isn't that something cute?" And I'm sitting there looking at this thing, and it's a damn mountain lion. I don't know who this woman was, but she thought a mountain lion was a dog. Yes. Yes. You saw that. You saw that too, that video too. Yes. The woman thought a mountain lion was a dog. Let me see if I can find that. Come on, come on. Oh, I got to get through an ad here. I found the video. There we go. Before we get into the ugly stuff, let's laugh at this.
Wild beast crashing a TV reporter's live shot?
I think it's a dog. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's some sort of creature below me.
Morgan Saxton was reporting on a flooded road south of Salt Lake City when the mysterious creature appeared out of nowhere and nearly brushed her leg. Social media lit up. Pretty sure a mountain lion just walked past her live shot. The
I don't want to get any strikes for this, but yeah. This woman thought it was a dog. How big do mountain lions get? Come on, 200 pounds. And they can get up to 8 foot long. Yikes. Weighing in between 80 and 200 pounds on average and can reach up to 8 feet long. That is huge. And 30 inches at the shoulder. I'm sorry. That's not something I want to sit there and battle. Oh. So, all right. Now, today's stream is not going to be very long. I've got to leave here at 11:30 my time, and I've still got some things I got to do to prep before I leave. So, maybe another hour and 15 minutes, depending. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's get to some things going on in politics. And I'm going to I want to start off with Kamala. Kamala has finally made an actual, real campaign promise. Something that she, something besides, you know, Trump is a big old meanie. I'm a prosecutor. I've handled people like Trump before. I'm going to keep democracy safe if you vote for me. I'm going to be a dictator, and then if something does, and if Congress doesn't outlaw guns in 100 days, I'm going to outlaw them by executive action. Other than that kind of crap that we know that, it's not going to happen. She can't do squat to guns in over 90 days by executive. Well, let me rephrase that. By executive action, she can't outlaw guns, but by executive action, she can sure turn up the heat on the ATF. However, thanks to our Supreme Court, the ATF is going to find it a lot harder to do some things now because the Chevron decision is going to invalidate a lot of their rules and regulations. It's probably going to take some court cases to get them invalidated, but yeah, there's going so. But thanks to the Chevron decision, there's going to be some other issues there. But her one promise that she has made, that's an actual campaign promise. Come on, share screen. Thank you.
Pay taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers. And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Eliminate taxes on tips for services and hospitality workers. See, I've worked in hospitality for so long, I have a hard time mispronouncing it. The problem is, she just made that promise here. The problem is Trump made this promise back in June. Donald Trump has doubled down on his latest campaign promise to eliminate federal taxes on tips for service workers. That was back in June. So June, July, August. It's taken her almost 2 months, 60 days, taking her, 45 days, 50 days to decide that a campaign promise Trump was been running on and has said multiple times.
Of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No.
He's been saying that for almost 2 months. And Kamala is fine. I mean, come on. Let's get real. But Kamala has finally decided that she's going to make a promise. Yeah, hospitality. Slow down. Now, this was just released here this morning. And this is Robert Fournier just did release this morning on his Twitter account. Let me see if I can find out how long ago it was. Let's see, an hour ago, he's going to sue, Trump's going to sue the Biden DOJ. Okay. 2 hours ago, Ryan A. Fournier on Twitter, just on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, just released this. So Trump's 20 core promises to make America great again. And let's take a quick look at these 20. And we'll see and make commentary on it, at least from my end. Seal the border and stop migrant invasion. 100%. Seal the borders. That should have an S on the end of it. Seal the borders. Yes, southern border, southwestern, southern, southeastern borders, yes. But let's not forget the northern border. Carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. 100%. I made a post this morning that has already caught, well, I've made this post many times. I've said it many times, but I finally started to catch some real flack for it, where the children of illegals should be removed from all public schools. No welfare, no food stamps, nothing. No public housing for illegals. Nothing. Medical services, other than life-saving medical services, emergency medical services, deport their asses. Denied. You know, sorry, you're here illegally. We're not spending them. We're not going to be treating you. You're not going to be getting free medical. Okay. And inflation and make America affordable again. I could only wish. I could only pray. I don't know if even Trump can end that in 4 years. He could probably take a hell of a bite out of the inflation by his regulatory processes. But I don't know if he can take care of that. Make America a dominant energy producer in the world by far? Yes, we can. Drill, baby, drill. Stop outsourcing. Turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Yes, he can. Again, regulatory processes. Stop regulating companies into oblivion. Stop outsourcing. Okay, large tax cuts for workers, no tax on tips. Okay, now, that sounds pretty. That sounds nice. I know a lot of people in the service industry, not in the hotels so much. Hotel workers don't get that much in tips. Even the housekeepers may pick up $20 or $30 a day in tips, maybe during the summer. But waiters and waitresses, not all waiters and waitresses make bank on tips. A lot of them make enough to survive, and that's about it. However, there are some. I know one waitress here. Well, I don't know if she's still a waitress or not. I haven't seen her in a few years. But I knew one waitress. Her and I were talking for a while tax season. She made over $100,000 in tips that year. Yes, she made $100,000 in tips. She was an amazing waitress. But she made over $100K in tips. Most don't make that much in tips. Most don't. Shouldn't there possibly be an upper limit on income before they start making that on tips? Oh, Raman, our housekeepers, they get paid hourly. Well, they get paid by the number of rooms they clean. Let me rephrase that. Most housekeepers in our area, they get paid by the number of rooms they clean with a minimum for every payday. So, but it's like it's $29 per room. So if they, they get paid, that's pretty decent pay. But yeah, I really think that there should be, like anything else, if you make 100K in tips, if you make 50K or 60K in tips, shouldn't you be paying some sort of income tax on that? Hey, Retro Morning. But shouldn't you be paying? And again, I just got these here just before the stream opened. So, the no tax on tips sounds great, but I think that there should be a upper limit before, okay, now you've reached taxable income. Defend our Constitution. All right, that is the job of the president. That should be number one. Instead of seal the border and stop migrant invasion, this should be number one. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our fundamental freedoms, including the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. That's the First and Second Amendment right there, all right? That's number one. That is the primary job of the president. Prevent World War III. Yes, please. Restore peace in Europe, Middle East. That is going to be, with Hamas just putting in charge of the man that outlined the plans for October 7th. Good luck with that. And the weaponization of the government against the American people, 100%. The government is supposed to work for the people, not the other way around. Stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish foreign drug cartels, crush gang violence, lock up violent offenders. Well, if he makes good on his first promise, seal the border, first two promises there, then that 10th promise will pretty much help take care of itself. And yes, definitely lock up violent offenders. So his first 10 promises. Rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful. You're not going to get that done in 4 years. You can incentivize cities to do it. But good luck in making LA and San Francisco and Baltimore safe, clean, and beautiful again, especially in only 4 years. These cities did, Detroit, Chicago. The cities didn't go down the shithole in 4 years. It's going to take more than 4 years to bring them back up. Strengthen, modernize our military, making it without question the strongest, most powerful in the world. Again, that's the job of the federal government. Keep the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. Yes. $14. So protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts and no changes, including to a retirement age. So you're going to stop the robbing out of Social Security to pay for children and everybody else? You're going to keep Social Security for what it was meant for? You're going to go back to what it was meant for, not for paying Social Security for the crazy kids Social Security fund? Good luck with that. Democrats have given away way too much money out of Social Security fund to people who don't deserve it, didn't pay into it. Definitely cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations, 100%. Cut funding to any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. Okay. On the surface, I agree 100% with that. But let's not forget, Louisiana just passed a law saying that the Ten Commandments has to be posted in every classroom, in every school. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Yes, I am a Christian. Yes, I fully believe in being washed in the blood of Jesus the Christ. I fully believe in the New Testament and the Holy Bible. Yes, I do my best to follow the teachings of the Christ. I do not want religious items in our schools. They don't belong there. Our schools are supposed to be secular. Our schools are supposed to be secular. I agree. Get the critical race theory. Get the drag queen story hours. Get all this crap out of our schools. There is a video here, a teacher in a high school call me Mr. Darren. Call me Zim Zer Z, whatever. Now, I believe he had a bunch of whatever, had a bunch of 12th graders in this class. That should not be allowed in the schools. That should not be allowed in the schools. But I also don't want the Ten Commandments in the schools. All right, no more than I want the Quran in the schools, no more than I want the Torah in the schools. Freedom of religion. And I definitely don't want Satanism in our schools. So keep men out of women's sports, 100%. Support pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic. You can't make them patriotic. All right, that is something the schools have to do in and of themselves. Can't make the college campuses safe. That is something the colleges have to do in and of themselves. However, deport pro-Hamas radicals. Yes, if they are here on a student visa, cancel that visa and deport their asses. Deport them. They are here at our allowing them to be here. They are here at our privilege, our tolerance. We don't have to tolerate you being here if you're going to come here and chant death to America and burn the American flag. American citizens have right to free speech. They can't be jailed for what they say. You're here on a tourist visa? You're here on a student visa? We may not jail you, but we can deport you. We can tell you to go back to your shithole country. And confiscate anything you've left behind. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. I would love to see us get back to same-day voting. These 30-day, 60-day early voting is nonsense. All this absentee voting is nonsense. Drop off ballots, that's nonsense. Now, should there be possibly more precincts, more places to vote? That's possible. Should voting take place? They say, well, let's make voting the day to vote a national holiday. That way everybody gets off work. Nobody gets off. The only people who get off work are government employees. This is a national holiday. You can't shut down, you shut down the banks and shut down the schools. You shut down the government buildings. Shut down the courthouse. You don't shut down the hospitals. You don't shut down the police departments. You don't shut down fire departments. You're not shutting down TRW. You're not shutting down the hotel industry. You're not shutting down the restaurant industry. You're not shutting down the lawyer's office. You can't shut all. Government decree can't come in and say you're going to shut down your private home business. Government decree can't say you go in there and shut down automobile manufacturing business. Not going to shut down the auto plants for everybody to vote. When you say you want to make voting a national holiday so people can get out there and vote, all you're doing is guaranteeing that the people who are going to get out there to vote are going to be the ones who are government employees. While absentee voting, the military should be able to absentee vote because I'm originally from Ohio. Up until I moved to Florida and changed my registration to Florida, I was stationed in Arizona. I voted in Ohio elections. I was in Germany. I voted in Ohio elections. It wasn't until I moved to Florida and changed my registration to Florida, changed my residency to Florida, that I voted in Florida elections. Yeah, Retro, this here's the Trump platform. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. When you have the media, you won't unite our country because you got the media against you. We were at record levels of success when Trump was in office the first time. And look what the media did, along with the help of COVID. So, but yeah, so this here now about 3 hours old. This was just released on X about 3 hours ago. So y'all do with this as you want. Like I said, it was Tim Fournier's post. Ryan Fournier, Fournier. And he is the, let's see, chair for Trump Students, executive director of Radical Alert, contributor at Today is America, Trump 2024. So, oh, this is cute. Billboard out in Fresno County. I like that. It's not that bad, but it's not that far off either. I got mad as hell last night. I was the wife and I were going, the wife wanted taco salad for dinner. And I'd already browned up the meat and had it seasoned. I was draining off some of the excess liquid. And I dropped the pan into the sink. A pound and a half, pound and 3/4 of hamburger into the sink. Oh, I was mad. That was almost $8 worth of hamburger down the tubes. Made me mad as hell. At today's prices, that was, somewhere between $6 to $8 worth of hamburger shot. And I was making up enough meat that because we're planning on having burritos later on in the week. So I was doing up all the seasoned hamburger I needed for the week at one time. Save some time later on. So I not only ruined last night's dinner, I ruined another night's dinner at the same time. But I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. A pound of hamburger was $1.25, $1.30, maybe $1.50 if you bought really lean beef. And now it's $2, $3, $4 a pound. Absolutely ridiculous. So, all right. So let me close that. All right. And we've done the Trump and Kamala comparison over her on the promises for no taxes on tips. So let's get down to the last big thing I want to talk about here. 10 volts. Yeah, that's right, Ramen. I bought. You're right. I do. We do talk about cooking on occasion, combining several of my favorite things: books, movies, cooking, politics. And see, like I said, we hit Sam's, and we bought 4.5 pounds of beef, of ground beef, 88.12, and I break it down into 1 pound packages and vacuum pack it and throw it in the freezer. You know, Ty, for some reason, I just don't have the time to do video games. And with me not working 40 hours a week, I really should have more time to play video. Well, I know what it is, too, is I'm spending more time with the wife out in the living room, and I don't want to disturb her television shows by me yelling at the zombie horde busting through to get me. our buddy, our buddy Tim. Where'd that picture go? Oh, don't tell me I lost it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? That's not it. That's not it. Close that tab. Oh, wait a minute. No, no, nope. I know where it's at. Okay. Let's take a look here at the Stolen Valor Act 2005. And I'm using the wiki article on it because it was just easier to get to be honest. The law made it a federal misdemeanor to falsely represent oneself having received any U.S. military decoration or medal. All right. Unless he lied about the Medal of Honor. Well, 6 months imprisonment. Unless he lied about the Medal of Honor, then it was a year. Oh, well. Oh, Stolen Valor Act was unconstitutional abridgment of freedom of speech. Ew. Well, I can still say he's got stolen valor. Maybe I looked up the wrong stolen valor law. Maybe I looked up the Stolen Valor Act 2013. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Amends the federal criminal code to rewrite provisions relating to fraudulent claims about military service to subject to fine, imprisonment, or both for an individual with the intent to obtain money, property, or other tangible benefit who fraudulently holds himself out to be a recipient of a Medal of Honor, Distinguished Cross, Navy Cross, any of these ribbons, medals, or any replacement or duplicate of such medals authorized by law. All right. but doesn't say anything about falsely holding rank. So anyway, first thing we want to look at here, one of the first things I want to look at, this has just come to light. All right, and it's not going to, I got to do this the hard way. Stop sharing. Why is it not let me share this? Let me try this again. Share screen, window. Well, if this isn't a son of a gun, so let me, now that's, mm-hmm. Not making me a happy camper here today. That this isn't letting me share this. So I'm going to have to do this down and dirty quickly. Let's see if this will let me do this. Okay, and now will let me share. Let me see if it will share that. Yes. Now let me share. That was interesting. Okay. This is Tim Walz's official House of Representatives coin. Notice over here on the, it shows an Army rank. Now we all heard many times, how many times over the years it's been revealed that Tim Walz represented himself as an E9. And if you look there on that coin, I know it's a little bit on the fuzzy side, but you can see the star with the wreath around it for a command sergeant major. That's not what he was. He was not a command sergeant major. Trump picks J.D. Vance Kamala. We have J.D. Vance at home. Retro, I'm not. Okay, I am not picking up what you're laying down there in that post there, Retro. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger because it doesn't help. So, but you can see the star with the wreaths around it there. Hopefully that's big enough now that y'all can see it. He put Command Sergeant Major on his House of Representatives coin. Now, we already know he wasn't the coach of the ball team. He was an unpaid assistant coach. But, okay, I mean, when I played basketball, we did call our assistant coaches coach. We had coach, then we had Coach Jim. We had Coach Jones. Coach was the head coach. Coach Jones was the assistant coach. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it now. Thank you, Tyre. Eyes a little dense there. You know, he intentionally misrepresented himself on these coins. Now, of course, he's going to sit there and say, well, you know, that was an aide that made that mistake. I didn't make that mistake. You had to approve it. You saw that coin was out there. You gave away that coin. You may not have designed it, but you approved the design and you gave it away. Now, I've often said, you know, and I got in trouble for this a while back, a couple months ago. I always say I'm retarded Air Force instead of retired Air Force. Because one, there's too many people out there, in my opinion, that play up their military background a little too much. Yeah, I'm very proud of my military service. My 20 years, retired out as an E6. No, I did not make top 3. I retired out as an E6. Made a few too many enemies, didn't PCS often enough. Spent too much time at one base. Had supervisors that didn't believe in putting out awards and medals. And a couple of times just missed out on the testing. So it's all my own damn fault that I didn't get promoted to at least top 3. But my fault's my fault. But I never claimed anything that I wasn't. I worked on the flight line. I worked on the integrated avionics systems of the F-15. I also spent time working in maintenance debrief. Then I spent my last couple of years working in the orderly room for the squadron commander, keeping an eye on a $12 million budget. Was I one of the best aircraft maintainers out there? No, but I was far from the worst. I was a good maintainer. I was an above average maintainer in my career field. I knew my systems. But there were people out there that I knew the systems better than I did, or knew portions of the systems better than I did. But anyway, I never claimed to have or be anything I wasn't. Never have, never will. This, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Socialist, nonpartisan, no politics, whatever. When a person claims to be something they were not, you claim a rank you were not. You claim a position of authority you did not hold. You claim to have done something, to been somewhere where you were not in the military. That, and especially when bragging about it, I want to see you taken down and taken down hard and fast. Don't proclaim something you weren't. We already know this man proclaimed to be a command sergeant major when he never even completed the damn school or the 24 months in that position that it'd take to have that title. He was an acting command sergeant major. You're right, Raman. And especially in this day and age, with technology the way it is, the internet is out there. Public records are out there. What you put, and this was something trying to beat into my son's head when he was a teenager, 20 some odd years ago. Don't put anything on the internet you don't want to come back and bite you 10 years later. Keep personal family business off the internet. You and your dad are fighting? Keep it off the internet. You and your wife are fighting? Keep it off the internet. You and your children are fighting? Keep it off the internet. Because anything you say on the internet is going to be used against you. It's not going to be used for you, it's going to be used against you. Years down the road. When my mother-in-law died, my son posted about it 5-10 minutes after it happened. I had him delete that stuff off Facebook and wherever else. He posted it right away as soon as I found out he had done it. That was family business. That wasn't to be put out there on the internet, especially the day it happened. Oh, yeah. Butter bars, they were the worst. Oh, that's, well, see, them thoughts there on OnlyFans, they're out there. They're not thinking about their children. Because, they're going to get married someday, maybe. They're going to have children someday, maybe. And their children are going to go to school. And somebody in that school is going to find naked pictures or worse of their mother. Because what's on OnlyFans is only on OnlyFans for a few minutes after it's initially posted. And then it's been downloaded, saved, and distributed across the internet. So when you're paying to be on that OnlyFans and you're paying to see that person naked, all you're paying for is seeing her naked first. Because if you wait a few days, you'll be able to find those pictures later on. And those pictures will be all over the internet and on people's hard drives and thumb drives and everything else. Oh, that's a good one there. Well, now strippers do only make tips. That's the truth. Strippers only do make tips. OnlyFans, unless they say pay, tip me what you want, as long as they don't have minimum charge to see their pictures, I guess they could get away with it. So, I didn't even think about that earlier. But like I said, going back to that, I still say that up to a certain point, yeah, tax free. The first $30,000, $40,000. But after that, you pay taxes, just like everybody else does. Just like everybody else. All right, I don't need to have that up there. Okay, but this here's where else. Waltz. Governor Tim Waltz found himself at a center of controversy following his speech at the 2021 9/11 Remembrance in Minnesota. During his remarks, Waltz recalled standing on the tarmac at Bahram Air Base in Iraq to witness a military ramp ceremony, a solemn event where a fallen soldier's body is prepared for its return home. Bagram Air Base is not in Iraq, but it's in Afghanistan. It's compounded by the error that the fact that Waltz never served in either Iraq or Afghanistan during his career. The closest he got to Bagram to Afghanistan or Iraq is going to Italy. How can you say how can you forget that you've never been to Iraq or Afghanistan? How can you forget? Oh, I was in Italy. I may have saw it in Italy, but I accidentally said I saw it while I was in Afghanistan. I thought I was in Afghanistan when I saw it, even though I was never there. This is again where I am seeing stolen valor. He is claiming he was somewhere that 99% of our population views as being in a combat area. In harm's way on the orders of his government. And he was never in that country. This, to me, is stolen valor. It may not be the legal definition that he can be prosecuted for, but he's trying to claim he was in a war zone when he wasn't there. He's trying to claim he was in an area of conflict when he wasn't there. It's just like when he said, about guns. He doesn't want to see people owning guns, civilians owning guns that he had it when he went to war. He was never in war. He never carried an M4 or an M16. He never carried them. Especially not into a combat area. Because he was never in a combat area. Remember all the shit and his name was on the tip of my tongue 2 seconds ago. A certain vice presidential candidate took because he read the spelling of the word potatoes as handed to him on the card by a teacher. And it was spelled incorrectly and he didn't catch it. Remember all the shit he caught over that by the media? Dan Quayle, that's right. Dan Quayle told a 12-year-old he misspelled potato while judging a 6th grade spelling contest, insisting that the word had an E on it. But that's the way it was spelled on the card that was handed to him by the teacher. But the media gave him hell over adding an E to the word potato for years. The entire time. He's too stupid to be vice president. He's too stupid to be second in line to the president, to be first in line to the presidency. Because he doesn't know how to spell potato. But right now, the media is covering this man's ass over lying where he was during times of conflict. Just because he's got a D after his name. Now, John Cobb, this letter come out over the weekend. I do not regret that Tim Waltz retired early from the Minnesota Army National Guard, did not complete the Sergeant's Major Academy, broke his enlistment contract, or did not successfully complete any assignment as a Sergeant Major. Unwittingly, he got out of the way for better leadership. Thomas Burhans was the right leader at the right time. He sacrificed to answer the call, leaving his family, business, and farming brother to train, lead, and care for soldiers. He earned the privilege of being called Command Sergeant Major. Like a great leader, he ran toward and not away from the guns. I have no opinion of Mr. Waltz's decision to leave service early at the time that he did. It was his right to retire early. I also have no criticism as his service as an E7 and E8 in the Minnesota Army National Guard. By accounts and on record, he was a competent, not excellent, competent. In the military, when you see somebody say competent, that means they barely make a passing grade. The only thing lower than competent and still be passing is acceptable. If you ever read anybody's paperwork, performance review, recommendations for promotion or anything like that, and it only says competent, that's not a very high recommendation. That is not a very high, that is saying, yeah, he knows how to do the job and I don't have to watch him. He doesn't need close supervision. We can send him out there to do it, and we're pretty certain it's going to get done with minimal mistakes. He was a competent chief of firing battery gunnery sergeant and first sergeant. I cannot say the same of his service sitting and fraught in the combat sergeant major's chair. He did not earn the rank or successfully complete any assignment as an E9. It is a front to the non-commissioned officers corps that he continues to glom onto the title. I can sit in the cockpit of an airplane. Does not make me a pilot. Similarly, when the demands of service and leadership at the highest level got real, he chose another path. There's not a whole lot you can say that's wrong with that letter. There's not a whole lot that you can say that's wrong with that letter. Now, there's another letter that come out here this weekend. I'm trying to find it here real quick. I hate it when CNN does crap like this. His commander at the time recently, and I'm trying to find the letter for it now. His commander at the time recently said that when Waltz submitted his retirement paperwork, he went around his commander. He actually went up the food chain to somebody above his commander to get his retirement approved. when I submitted my retirement. Now, I worked directly for the commander. So when I submitted my retirement, okay, that was no problem. I submitted it straight to my commanding officer. Because again, it was that was, I mean, he was my boss. He was my direct first line supervisor. That meant I had the wing king and the base commander as my two endorsers. And yet, on my final performance review, I did actually get the base commander's endorsement. But that was only because I was going to be my final review, and they were trying to do something nice for me. There's so much to be said here about what Waltz has done. The fact that he's damn near his policies are so far left wing they make Kamala look centralized is bad enough. I mean, I don't remember Kamala saying she wanted to put tampons in the boys' bathrooms. Hey, Ramen. I just read your last post there. Did you? You were never on short bus. But anyway. There's so much wrong with what he believes in politically. Trying to get, driver's licenses for all. And there's another thing that I'm looking at for tomorrow's post, thanks to him, for tomorrow's stream. Well, did you? Aren't we all? Aren't we all in one way or another? But anyhow. This whole thing here about him, it wouldn't matter to me if he was a Republican. If he was lying this bad about his military service, there's no way in hell I could support him. There is no way I could support him being in that position. This week, sorry about that, folks. This weekend on the internet, Harry Sisson released a picture taken back in college days of J.D. Vance, dressed up in a blonde wig wearing a dress. And Sisson's, see, even J.D. Vance has come out as a drag queen. It looks more like he was at a Halloween party of some sort. But then he was saying that Trump hates the LGBTQ and drag queens and such. That's funny. Trump was the first person to ever run for office that started off by saying he supported the LGBT. He took flack from some conservatives for saying he supported LGBTQ. Yeah, it was a hard college. Yeah, it was a college party. Well, in the barracks, we had barracks parties where we had guys dressing up as in their girlfriends' uniforms. stuffed bras and the whole 9 yards. Some of them parties were pretty damn funny. We did dumb stuff like that in the Air Force. People do dumb stuff when they going out to parties and they're drinking. You know, Digi, one of the best political commentators was a comedian. He's dead now. Come on. George Carlin. George Carlin was one of the best political commentators of his time, but he was a comedian in doing it. Yep, there's that too. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, later on, Digit, you have a good one. The stream's about ready to end anyway, because I've got places I got to get to here in a little bit. I am so disgusted though at what Waltz is getting away with, and the media is doing everything they can to minimize what's going on, minimize what's happening. Whereas if this had been a Republican, they've been tearing him apart. So you can't tell me and be honest about the bias in the media. Any fair media would be ripping Waltz apart. Gerald Ford was a star athlete in college. He tripped going up a flight of stairs to Air Force one time. And the media and Saturday Night Live ran jokes on him for his entire presidency. The media so loved John McCain that when he ran for office, rather than making John McCain the focus of their media reports, they decided to pick on the woman, Sarah Palin, instead. Now, Sarah Palin was sort of an easy target. But most vice presidential candidates are. But if you go back and look at the coverage of that election year, the bulk of it, the coverage was not on John McCain, but it was on Sarah Palin. Yes. But anyway, ladies and germs, gents and Gentiles, I want everybody to try to have a good day. Y'all be good. Enjoy yourselves. Don't be like me and get so aggravated at what's going on that you got to get out there and spend an hour and a half streaming out into the ether about it just to keep your spouse happy so that they don't have to hear you. Get out there, enjoy life, have fun with it. But do take this election. I know you guys are going to take this election serious this year, or else you wouldn't be listening to me. But anyway, y'all have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good day. Be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. All right? Have fun.